Hello, and welcome to day 3 of our study of simile and metaphor in Billy Collins's poem Introduction to Poetry. Ordinarily, I would begin by rereading the poem, but for the sake of time, we will just say that we have been studying this poem for the past 2 days. Take a moment now to get out the T chart that you and your partner filled in yesterday. You should now have a complete chart of the metaphors in the first half of the poem that convey the teacher's attitude toward poetry, and the metaphors in the second part of the poem that convey the student's attitude toward poetry. Now that we have collected our evidence and analyzed the attitude that we see conveyed in each piece, it is time to move on to the next step. We are going to write about it. First, let's review our key question. How does Billy Collins's use of simile and metaphor reveal the contrasting attitudes of students and teachers toward poetry? The first thing you need to do when faced with a prompt or a question is figure out exactly what that question is asking. Find the details. So let's just talk about what this question is asking. What do you see it asking for here? In lieu of actual students, I will be using mine and Laura's cats. Yes, butterscotch, simile and metaphor. That is the first thing that we need to make sure we include in our paragraph. And well done, Miss Sassy Pants. The contrasting attitudes of students and teachers toward poetry is the second part of that. We've been talking about these key questions in terms of the little question and the big question. The little question here are the devices that Billy Collins used in his poem to reveal the contrasting attitudes of students and teachers toward poetry, which is the bigger question. So we'll want to make sure that we address both parts of that in our paragraph. We will start by writing a claim statement. This will be your topic sentence for the paragraph. And to help you out, I've given you a fill in the blank to get you started. In the blank poem Introduction to Poetry, Collins uses simile and metaphor to reveal the contrasting blank yet blank attitudes that the teacher and students have toward poetry. This first blank will be an adjective of your choosing. You can have a little creativity here. What is the overall style or tone of the poem? Is it a whimsical poem or a serious poem? You decide. The tone words here in the blank yet blank come from your T chart. This is the analysis that you have already created. Do you want to talk about the reverent yet critical tone? Do you want to talk about the playful yet harsh tone? You decide which metaphors you want to focus on and mix and match them and choose what makes the most sense to you and your partner. Now that we have a claim statement, it's time to take a trip around the analysis triangle. We've talked about this triangle before, and so you're going to start with your evidence for leg 1, the tip of the triangle. Then the leg 2 commentary focuses on the little question, and leg 3 commentary focuses on the big question. For this prompt in particular, leg 1 is going to introduce the simile or metaphor, embed that quote in your sentences, and then transition with an adverb to explain what that metaphor means. This is the literal and partially the figurative meaning of the metaphor within the poem. What does Collins mean by a mouse in a poem? And then leg 3 will connect to the big question, the attitude that teachers and students have toward poetry. You're going to take 2 trips around this triangle, one for each part of the poem. You will start with that fill in the blank claim, and then have a sentence about the teacher's attitude using the metaphor of your choice. And then a second trip around the triangle to talk about the student's attitude. This will give you a complete analytical paragraph. Good luck.